Hi there guys, it's Rick Wallace from Tackle Village, back again with another fly tying video. Today we're going to tie a fly called the Bassano Klinkhammer, which is a great fly to use on rivers. It can imitate a whole variety of stages of the mayfly life cycle. It's a great fly. Now before we get into it, please hit like if you like this video. Please subscribe to our channel. We've got lots of fly tying videos on there and we want to keep delivering this content to you. Alright, so before we do anything else, it's straight into the steps for tying the Bassano Klinkhammer. Hey guys, Rick from Tackle Village with another fly tying video. This time we're tying the Chris Bassano Klinkhammer, which is a kind of spinner slash dun pattern. Very effective, very popular in Tasmania. It's sort of quite a delicate fly, not the sort of thing that you'd hang a nymph under, but great for sort of fussy fish feeding on either duns or spinners. So starting off with a number 14 Hanak Klinkhammer hook, and then we're just going to start by laying down a thread base with this black thread we've got here. So away we go and do that, going right sort of round to the bend of the hook. Okay, so trimming off the excess there. Now we're just going to come up to sort of 2/3 of the way up the shank and put in our post. It's a parachute fly. You'll sort of see how it all plays out. This is a number 14. Probably got enough high-vis material here. It's like a coral pink coloured high-vis. About the right amount here for a 14. Probably don't want quite as much if you're tying this in a 16. Anyway, so we just tie that in perpendicular with the shank, as we normally do with a parachute fly. Then bring it up to make the post. We're doing our wraps in the other plane, in the horizontal plane. Get that post to stand up. Just do this gradually, take your time. And then we're just leaving probably, we need three wraps of hackle, so we're just leaving like enough to make those wraps concentric. Okay, there we are. Now next step is to tie in our wire. This fly's got a wire rib. So get our wire. I think the original pattern calls for silver. I don't have silver, so I'm just using gold. So we'll tie that in here. And then this doesn't really have a dubbed body, or it doesn't have a dubbed body. So what we're doing is just making a thread body over the wire down to about there. Now I'll just build this body up a little bit as I come back up towards the post, keeping it fairly slim with this sort of wanting to imitate a spinner. Now we've got a little bit of wire sticking out there. That's not going to be covered over by the dubbing when we dub the thorax. Oops, I knocked the camera. Sorry about that, guys. Right, now I'm just going to rib the fly. So I'm just coming up here with making the segmented body with the wire. No sort of set number of ribs, but just make it so it looks okay. I reckon that's about right. Right, we'll make that our last rib. Okay, so now just using the thread to tie that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tie that off, and now we'll just break off this wire by doing that sort of back and forth motion. Better than cutting it with the scissors, because I don't want to blunt my scissors. All right, there we go. That's got rid of that. And the next thing is to tie in our hackle. We've got a black saddle hackle here, suitable for a 14. I'm just cutting it off screen, cutting the just the first few barbules off the feather. I'll show you it in a tick. Righto, there is the feather. Now I'm going to tie this in natural curve of the feather, facing down or glossy side down. So I'll just tie it in. Oops, I just need to shorten that up a bit to catch the feather properly. Righto, catch that. That's tied in, and we will just wrap up the post to secure it, ready to do the hackle wraps. Okay, so we leave that in place. Now we've just got to dub a thorax. I'll try to get that out of the way so the camera, that's better, can catch it properly. Now I'm just using some black superfine dry fly dubbing here. Nice sort of thin dubbing rope. You don't want to go overboard with this fly. Maybe I've got too much there, but I think we might sort of be able to smooth it out. I'm not using dubbing wax, but you're welcome to. I think you can get away without it with this dubbing. Look, if you're obsessively neat, maybe you want it. But I'm going to get away without it, I think. Right, now we're going to dub this thorax. Forgive me if that keeps flicking in front of the lens, but there's not much I can really do. Rightio, so thorax, some wraps behind, wraps in front, diagonal wrap. Right, that's building up quite nicely. Now I want to wrap forward to the eye of the hook. Now I'm just going to need a tiny bit more, I reckon. We'll build that bit immediately behind the eye with the thread head, but I think I want just a little bit more substance to this before I do it. Okay, there we go. Righto, we're down to the head, that's enough. And come back up and just make that thorax just a little bulkier. Okay, and we are done. So that's our thorax wrapped. Now what we want to do is just make sure we've come up the post enough with the hackle. Maybe 1 wrap, 2 wraps, 3 wraps. Let that hang down. I'm going to twist the vise over because I find it easier to do the hackle this way. Apologies if it's not the greatest to look at, but we'll straighten it up at the end. Righto, so 1 wrap. Next wrap's further down, 2 wraps, back to the start, and the third and final wrap is the one closest to the body. Right, that's wrapped. I twist it back into that normal plane. Now I'm just going to anchor it. So basically wanting to hold it at the rear there with this left hand. So 1 wrap over the top, 1 wrap underneath, 2 wraps underneath. Right, now that's ready to be tied off. But personally, I am going to do the whip finish first and cut that off later. Right, so I'm just peeling back the hackle fibres here so I don't trap them when I build the thread head. Peeled all those back. Get out of there. Probably should have cut it off. Anyway, coming forward and building up that thread head but without crowding the eye. Perfecto. Now all I want to do is whip finish. 1, 2, 3. Pull up tight. Trim that thread. Flip the vise over. Trim that hackle. Try not to take too many of the fibres. Boom, hackle's trimmed. And final part of this fly is to trim the post to a reasonable length. It's about there. And there you have it, the Bassano Emerger, a really, really good dry fly, delicate dry fly, fishing on a long leader to fussy trout. Very effective, particularly in Tasmania, where I think its creator may well be from. So thank you for joining us. If you like this video, please like us, hit like on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and we'll make sure we get more of these tying videos coming through. Hope you enjoy them. Thank you. And don't forget, if you're after a materials list for these patterns, all the materials you need are listed on the blog post, along with the illustrated fly tying instructions, which has got a photo and a step-by-step guide to tying the fly. You'll find those in the blog post that accompanies these videos. I've linked to the blog post in the description field below this video.